Hey guys, I just wanted to go live on this because this is a pretty serious issue, and you know me, I'm not an alarmist, but there's some stuff going on in Virginia we really need to keep our eyes on, kind of keep our ears to the ground and figure out, hey, what's going on here? How's this all going to shake out? How are they going to use the military? What kind of force are they going to use on law enforcement? Is there a necessity to bring about Second Amendment sanctuary counties? Seems pretty antithetical to the Second Amendment to me. It seems like all you'd have to do is say, hey, I'm staying on the Second Amendment. There's your sanctuary county right there. But this news article, Virginia National Guard responds after lawmakers suggest using the National Guard to enforce gun laws, which that's interesting right there because a lot of people take solace and they go, well, the military would never do that because they're for the flag, they're for America, they're for the Constitution. Hey, I wouldn't be so sure. When you become a military man, and all you military guys know this out there, you sign your life away. You became basically a servant to the United States government to do their bidding. Remember what Kissinger said? Military men, this is Kissinger, guys. This isn't me. I'm not quoting it because I agree with it. This is Zionist Henry Kissinger, who hated and hates America. He said military men are dumb, stupid animals, made only to obey foreign policy. You use only what is oh crap. I quote it all the time and I can't remember it. Military men, yeah, are dumb, stupid animals. Ah, this is so stupid that I can't remember. I just drew a blank. To be used as pawns for foreign policy. And, a lot of people say, well, that's spurious. You know what? Whether that's spurious or not, that's how Henry Kissinger acts. That's how Congress acts. That's how the House, that's how the Senate, that's how the president acts. They act like military men are pawns for foreign policy. Why are we in Afghanistan spending hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars in the last 19 years? Why are we spending so much money, putting so much effort there to guard Afghanistan poppy fields for big pharma? They're used as pawns for foreign policy, guys. Billions and billions, trillions of dollars wasted using it for, just to deepen the pockets of people who are already rich. So I wanted to go over this article right here. But first of all, a guy named Jonathan Picone, go visit his channel because he did a good job here. He called, he wanted to go straight to the horse's mouth and he called the Virginia National Guard to get their take on this. And Jake Baker, sent this to me via Twitter. Appreciate it, Jake. Thank you very much. Let's listen to what he has to say. Pretty interesting stuff.
Joint Operations Center. We'll just go straight to the top.
By the way, he's calling Joint Operations Center. If you want that number, it's in the description below the video you're watching right now, my video. So he's calling Virginia Joint Operations Center. Anybody can call that number. As a matter of fact, maybe it'd be a good idea if we all did. Also, I will include all these numbers right here on how to get in touch with the Virginia National Guard. What if they get pummeled with thousands of American phone calls asking them, okay, what are you going to do if Democratic Virginia lawmakers ask you to institute gun laws? You don't even have to ask that because, they're not going to give a statement. They don't want to get in trouble from the ranking officer. So just ask them, hey, are you going to protect and defend the Constitution you swore to uphold? Yes or no? See if they answer that question.
Joint Operations Center, Staff Sergeant Martin speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, Staff Sergeant. This is Jonathan Picone. I have a question. I've been trying to get a hold of any member of the National Guard. I'm a former veteran myself, man. So, and I want to let you know this phone call is recorded, and it's not like I'm some propaganda speak.
I like how he handles this phone call because basically he's putting the guy on the other end of the phone on the same plane that he is. Hey man, I'm just a guy. I've served in the military just like you're serving in the military. I've seen action. I want to defend this country. He completely disarms the guy on the other end of the phone. He doesn't just come at him and go, "Come on, give me an answer." There's something called diplomacy, and I think Jonathan here has it.
Propaganda speech or anything like that. It's just I'm a veteran calling you guys because you guys ate the same dirt as me, and no one's really talking to any National Guard member. And I don't know if you have a readiness NCO or someone that you would rather have on the phone, but I'm just talking to you as a former brother that ate the same dirt as you, man, about what's going on in that state, because a lot of people in the South who have a lot of affirmation and connectivity with Virginia, because we're close. I live in Kentucky, dude. I'm only 3 hours away from you. We just have concern about what's going on, and I just want to talk to you as a former veteran. I was with the 278th in the Tennessee National Guard, and I was with the 3rd Infantry Division in Ramadi in 2005, man. All right? So, if anything, we should know that I'm burned out with experiencing that, and I like to have peace in this nation, okay? And I just have concern for you guys that you kind of been put on the forefront if something continues to happen with this whole situation with the firearms in the state of Virginia.
Yes, sir. If you hold 1 moment, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going down right now to talk to my lieutenant colonel, and then that way you can, if he's in the office, you can express your concerns to him, sir.
Yeah, if you have a phone, if you have someone to talk to, because I haven't been able to talk to any of you guys, and I wore the same uniform and flag as you guys, and I remember seeing the 29th when I was in rotation at Camp Shelby. I seen you guys there too, you know? And so I figured, I know you can't say too much, but just, could you get me somebody to talk to?
Yes, sir. If you could hold 1 moment, please.
All right, cool.
While he's waiting, do you notice that mainstream media is not covering? Mainstream media is not covering on what's going on in Virginia. Not really. They're not covering this like they should be covering it. This is 24/7 news cycle stuff, guys. This is big stuff.
Sergeant First Class is here, and he'll be able to take down your information and everything, sir, and talk to you a little bit.
Oh, sure. That's fine.
Yes, hold on, please. Sergeant Bailey?
Sergeant First Class Bailey?
Yes.
Hey, my name's Jonathan Picone, man, and I just wanted to get a voice from the Virginia National Guard. And this is recorded, and it's just because y'all's voice needs to be heard, because I'm a former veteran.
What's your last name?
Picone.
What's your last name, sir?
Picone, Piccone.
Okay. And who are you calling with? Who are you with, sir?
No, I'm just a veteran wanting to call other military members.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I am.
Okay. All right. And what's this call in regards to, sir?
Really, I'm just trying to get an idea of what's actually going on in Virginia, and just to see if the National Guard is aware of certain politicians wanting to maybe or possibly enact martial law or something of that nature. And I just want to know what you guys feel about it, because that's your own people, and I wouldn't want that here in my state. You know?
Well, we're not speculating on anything like that. Anything that's possible, or any laws that might possibly be passed. I don't know if you served in the Guard in your state, but as you're aware, I mean, our mission is to respond to emergency requests from the governor. We've not received any requests for anything from the state at this time, so
right.
There's nothing to say about it. So,
are you familiar with the 278th out of Tennessee?
no, I'm not.
Are you familiar with 3rd Infantry Division?
Yes.
Okay, I was with the 3rd ID when I was active duty, and I was in Ramadi in 2005 with 3rd Brigade, 3rd ID of 269 Armored, okay? And so you've been in a minute. Well, man, we've all made the wheel turn, right? I mean, look where the world's going at now from our time. I mean, honestly, look what it's turning into. You know, I just... You're our brothers, too. You're our Southern brothers, man. Regardless of that uniform. You're an American brother in the South, right?
All right, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Well, am I recorded also?
I'm not going to make any comments, sir. I've told you what our stance is. We're not speculating on any possible use of the Guard or any potential laws or legislation that might be passed. We're, right now we're just kind of monitoring the situation. We haven't been requested by our governor to activate it all.
Right. I wouldn't want to be in your position, man. it's scary to think if my state was going into some type of turmoil like that. I know you can't make any statements, but if you're really here to protect our freedom, you know, your freedom's gone away to really speak your mind. You know, it's a shame, dude. It's a shame there's a limitations.
I'm glad he said that because it does highlight a very important fact that the freedom of the guy that he's talking to has gone away to speak his mind. Because when you sign on that dotted line, it's no longer your mind, your voice, your body. You've given it to the United States government. That's your contract with them.
I wish you guys the best, and I'm just trying to get a voice from that side so someone can hear something, because no one's actually asking a Guards member on anything. Everybody's having speculation and spinning up a bunch of fear, and I'm just trying to get a hold of you guys to hear a voice of what's actually going on. And I don't see any other veterans doing that.
All right. Well, I appreciate your service. I appreciate the phone call.
All right, man. Defend free will, and remember, government is slavery.
Cool.
There you go, guys. That's all I get. I can't talk in a hua. There you go. That's at least one number from the Virginia National Guard.
All right, so if you want to contact the Virginia National Guard, I'm not giving anybody a directive to contact them. I'm just saying if you want to contact them, all you got to do is do a DuckDuckGo search or something for Virginia National Guard phone number. And if you want the number that he talked to, that's the Virginia National Guard Joint Operations Center. What's interesting about this, and what I'd wish he'd done, and I'm not slighting Jonathan Picone in the slightest. Anybody who can take an effort to, you know, get to the bottom of and get a firsthand story from, you know, anybody on the ground, I think that's a good thing. It'd be interesting if he had said, let me just ask you one question. All you got to do is say yes or no. Are you going to defend and protect the Second Amendment? The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yes or no? If he doesn't answer that question, you pretty much know where that guy's mind is. He's not willing to honor his oath. And you have, you know, the reality we live in is that, and the grave irony and the paradox is, those who take that oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, actually become the very domestic enemies that they said they were going to protect everybody else from. So now, on the heels of that, we've got this story right here. The Virginia National Guard responded to December 13th. This is just, 3 days ago? After Democratic congressmen suggested using the force to enforce gun laws in Virginia. And that force is a force on the police force. It's military force on the police force to enforce gun laws. Let that sink in. Let that sink deep down into your soul. A government functionary, a Democratic congressman, is suggesting the use of militarized force to go against the police force, in this case, the county sheriffs in Virginia, to enforce gun laws. A number of counties declared themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries opposing gun control laws. That's a good thing, but you don't need to do that. If you took an oath to the Constitution, you don't need to do that. You don't need to pile on laws or extracurricular activities and declare Second Amendment sanctuaries. Every place is a Second Amendment sanctuary because it all applies to every single individual. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, period. What part of that do they not understand? Representative Donald McEachin suggested cutting off state funds to counties that don't comply with any gun control measures that pass in the state capital, and suggested that Virginia Governor Ralph Blackface Northam, let's just call him what he is, just a big hypocrite, could call in the National Guard to enforce gun laws. Now, ain't that a pickle? You got law enforcement agents who are used to trampling on the Second Amendment, forcing other people against their will, forcing the quote unquote citizenry, just the average people who aren't law enforcement, to do things that they don't want to do against their will. They haven't harmed anybody. They haven't threatened to harm anybody, but these sheriffs are out there enforcing all these laws. And now the sheriffs are being threatened by the Democrats that they need to uphold the gun control laws that they're about to enact. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy what's going on. And it's so funny. If you want to get a good story, CNN, MSLSD, Faux News, report on this. I mean, really report on it, but they're not. They're silent on it. Why? Because they're for gun control. They're for gun control legislation, which isn't gun control, it's people control. This guy says, I'm not the governor, but the governor may have to nationalize the National Guard to enforce the law. That's his call, because I don't know how serious these counties are and how severe the violations of the law will be. You want to find out what the violation of the law is, dude? Find out. Well, he can't, because he's so immersed in the cognitive dissonance of his own crap. He's got his head stuck so far up his ass he can't see that he's living in direct violation of the oath that he took to protect and defend the Second Amendment. But that's obviously an option he has. So let's talk about what the National Guard says. We have received multiple. Let's see. This is Major General Timothy Williams, the Adjutant General of the state, said in a statement released by Virginia National Guard, and here's the tweet right here from the Adjutant General of Virginia. This is from Virginia National Guard. We have received multiple questions regarding proposed legislation for the 2020 General Assembly session and the authority of the Governor of Virginia to employ the Virginia National Guard in a law enforcement role. He says also in a tweet, we understand and respect the passion of people feel for the United States Constitution and Second Amendment rights. We will not speculate about the possible use of the Virginia National Guard. Well, why don't in your next sentence say, and we aim to uphold the Constitution and the Second Amendment rights, regardless of what anybody says? What would be the harm of saying that? How could you possibly get in trouble for that? We know the answer to that question. It's rhetorical. I encourage everyone to be patient while we allow our elected officials. Well, what if you were the 49% who didn't elect them? You don't want Democrats' will enforced on you if you didn't vote for that Democrat. To work through the legislative process, we have not received any requests from the governor or anyone on his staff about serving in a law enforcement role related to any proposed legislation. So there's the answer right there with in regard to, quote unquote martial law and the use of the Virginia National Guard. Does anybody want to add anything to that? I'm looking in the chat right now. I want to try to make this, it's already 17 minutes. I can't believe we've gone this long, but it's very interesting. I applaud Jonathan Piccone. Actually, go to his channel. I'll leave that link in the description. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and post his link right now. Let him know High Impact Vlog sent you. Oh, shoot. I can't. Let's see. Actually, one of my mods, can you post that link? I can't post it right now because I'm looking at the chat on Trisha's computer and I don't have the other thing pulled up. One of those guys says, better to die on your feet than live on your knees. And I say, amen, man. I want dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery any day. I'd rather be a free man. I just want to be free. I just want to be left alone. Why? That's the moral position. There's no better position than the moral position. If you're automatically a politician, you've automatically taken the amoral position. If you're a military man or part of law enforcement, you've already taken the amoral position. You've already sworn to uphold the Constitution and the laws of your state, which is in direct contradiction with one another. You can't keep both the laws of your state and the Constitution because they're always in conflict with each other. And when you take an oath to do something conflicting like that, you've just taken the amoral position. Actually, not amoral, immoral. Let's see. Yeah, dying in your boots, not licking someone else's, says Ray of Sunshine. Exactly. All right, so while we're, let's see. Let me, in the description of this video that you're looking at right now, guys, let me just go ahead and go to it. See, I'm looking at this other screen right here. In the description of this video, we talked about this the other night, and I had an idea. Here it is right here. I had an idea. You know the 12 Days of Christmas song? I was thinking, why don't we all do it instead of just me? So I've got the words to the song in the description here. And the 12 Days of Christmas my true love gave to me. A GoPro to film the police. 2 body cams. Okay, so how it's gonna go is 5 223s. 4 assault rifles, and then at the end of assault rifles, it's like there's no such thing as an assault rifle, but we'll make fun of it. 3 45s, 2 body cams, and a GoPro to film the police. So I've got the first paragraph right here is what we can all do. If you want to record yourself, a group of you have like maybe you live in Colorado or a state that has cool scenery in the background. a winter scene or something like that, and just shake it up so that every line is going to have one of you guys singing part of this line. This doesn't mean you have to sing the entire song. Just do segments of it because the segments can be pieced together. You know what I mean? Let me just do this right here. Ah, what's this thing doing? What is this thing doing? So it's going to be 12 gauges blasting, 11 soy boys crying, 10 libtards lying, 9 cops infringing, 8 chemtrails crossing, 7 swamp rats swinging. I like that one. 6 shot revolver, 5 223s, 4 assault rifles, 3 45s, 2 body cams, and a GoPro to film the police. So if we all piece that together, it'll be pretty funny. And kind of convey a message for people, because if you add humor and you can get something to get a lot of eyes on it, you can. The goal of this and anything, guys, is to set brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. That is the goal. So if we can get that going, what you'll do is you'll send your clip. Like I said, just do every one of them, and I'll take the best clip of what you sent in. But you could just sit there and record yourself saying 4 assault rifles. Or you can just say 5 223s, or you can say 11 soy boys crying, just whatever. And I could piece it together and edit it. It'll be fun. And like I said, the idea is getting together and setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. Because, people look at this going, what the heck are you talking about? Assault? You're mocking assault rifles? Well, there is such a thing as assault rifles. And then they find out, whoa, yeah, that's pretty stupid to add assault on the beginning of any inanimate object. So that's the idea. What do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up if you want to participate. And if you do participate, send your clip to highimpactflix.com. And I'd like to get it done in the next 48 hours. Because what are we out? 9 days till Christmas right now. If we can get it out like 5.556s, yeah, it just sounds better. 5.223s. It kind of shakes it up. There's too many fives close. Clinton swinging in a tree says triple digits. Trish laughed at that. That's hilarious. Clinton swinging from a tree. That's so funny. Clinton goes to jail. Epstein is not dead. All right. One Jeffrey Epstein. Destroy all the pedos in one pile. Da 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 da. Okay, guys, so if you're interested in doing that, send it to contact at highimpactflix.com. If you could do it in the next 45 days, that'd be 45 days. Oh, my gosh. 48 hours. That would be awesome. Like and share this video with everybody you know, guys. The goal of this medium, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you use, is to set brush fires and freedom in the minds of men. Because let's face it, guys, we're only as free as the people in our zone of influence. If everybody around you is a slave, if you got 200 people around you that are slaves, or 15,000 people in your town, or 30,000 people in your town that are slaves, you're only as free as they are. So the idea is just to spread brush fires of freedom. And it's like, oh yeah, I do live an ideologically inconsistent life. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go next door and harm my neighbor or rob them or threaten them or extort from them. So why am I voting for somebody to rob, extort, threaten, harass, kidnap, and kill them? That doesn't make any sense. And then let them wrestle with the inconsistencies and the thoughts of their own mind. Because I'll tell you this, if there's a spark of morality in somebody, that spark sometimes is all you need. It's like, that's why I'm promoting. And if you missed my last video about Naomi Zeipt, it's hard for me to say her last name. The reason I highlight her is because she says a lot of truthful things. Now, could she be co-opted now or in the future? Sure, yeah, she could. But I want to pick out the truthful things and highlight those things, because those are the things we need to be consistent and come to grips with and be on the same page on. And if you look at her, she used to be a climate cultist. At a young age, she was indoctrinated in this, and now she got out of it. That kind of gives me hope. And we've all been statists. We've all gone to the voting booths. We've all gone to the voting booths. We've all gone to the voting booths and pushed that button and pulled that lever for some political psychopath to control our brothers and sisters. That's really what it amounts to. And now we're out of it and we're thinking clearly. It's like, no, that's immoral. And yeah, my position may not be a popular position, but the question is it the right position? Is it the moral position? Is it how I would want to be treated? Is it how I want my family to be treated? That's really the bottom line. And so even if heaven falls and the earth crumbles between my feet, the question is, am I doing what is right? Every moment of every day. That's the question. So like and share this video with everybody you know. If you missed the last video, just check it out, because it's pretty interesting what this girl says. She's still a teenager. I think before she leaves her teenage years, which is next year, I think that I read a report where she's 19. I think she should do all she can while she's a teenager, because it would be teenager Naomi versus teenager Greta. And hey, let's get a public debate going. Let Naomi challenge Greta, or let Soph. That would be even more interesting, because I think Soph is younger than Greta. Have Soph and Greta get on a stage and constantly challenge Greta. And when you find out that Greta is constantly going, no, well, we're not having a public debate with Soph. No, we're not having a public debate with Naomi. We ain't doing that. Well, that tells you everything you need to know, because their ideas aren't good enough. See, they think they have ideas so good they have to be mandated. That's what it's for Greta and her handlers. It is not about fixing the climate. It's about creating more atmosphere of socialistic feminazi control. That's literally what it's about. They don't care about the climate. They don't care. They're getting rich. The $93 trillion deal, ain't no politician going to clean up the atmosphere. If they don't give a damn about you and your family, and they don't give a damn about reaching into your pockets, saying they're going to take from the top 2% of the top 2% of the top 1/10% of the first percent, they're reaching into your pockets. You think the top 10th of the top 1% is going to stand for 1 second a politician reaching into their pockets? They own the politicians. And they're going to pass all that savings, it's really an expenditure, onto you. You're the one that's going to pay their tax. So the climate change ideology, the climate change cult, the cult of climatology, the religion of climatology is all about taking more control over people for the benefit of the puppet politicians and their oligarchical masters behind the curtain that you never hear about, that you don't see. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the JP Morgans, the Zionist international banking cartel who pulls all the strings. What did Amschel Rothschild say? He said, you know what? I don't give a damn who makes the laws. As long as I get to control the nation's money supply, it doesn't matter to me, man. I don't give a damn. I own the freaking currency. I own the currency that the politicians use. I own the currency that the law enforcers use. And I own the currency that all the people use. What are you going to do to me? Ain't nothing you're going to do to me. Because I own that, I own the military industrial complex, which means I own the Pentagon, which means I own all the foreign and domestic forces. I got it all. And ain't nothing you can do to me, because people will always, their mindset is people can always be paid off with just a little bit of cheddar. Slip them some cheddar and they'll knock somebody off. They'll blow somebody away. Why? Because it's climate change is an agenda. The agenda is exercise more control, more power, gain more wealth for them and less for you. And really, if you take the Georgia Guidestones, whatever you may think about the Georgia Guidestones, they're not interested in saving lives, even though Greta's going, people are suffering, people are dying. How dare you? How dare I? The people who control you are the ones who wants to kill us. And you're trying to tell us you're trying to save us? Get on down the road with your bad self. You ain't got no standing to talk. Look at the Georgia Guidestones, guys. Check it out. If you don't know about the Georgia Guidestones, one of the commandments, one of the tenets of the Georgia Guidestones is to whittle the Earth's population down to a nice, cool 500 million. Oh, that'll be nice, 500 million. That means there's more food for us, more fresh air for us, the oligarchs. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about control. Anytime you see a law about to be passed, I don't care if it's a climate change law through the Green New Steel. I like somebody said that the other day. It's not the Green New Deal, it's the Green New Steel. It's the Green New Scam. $93 trillion. I heard estimates of $120 trillion. That's a transfer of wealth and power. A transfer of your rights and power to the politicians, the puppet politicians, and their banking overlords, and a transfer of wealth, your wealth, not theirs. They're not going to give up their wealth. They're keeping their wealth. Like George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. And if you're not the club, you don't get insulated from all the problems. So let me just read some super chats here. and then we'll be on our way. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. Please share this video. Snapzilla says, I think she needs help dropping that left versus right paradigm. Many people who flip from Demo go straight to Republican. Once that happens, it's hard to get them to drop their status ideals. Are you talking about Naomi? Are you talking about Naomi? If you're talking about Naomi or anybody, I agree. In my promotion of Naomi, it's really more of a promotion of her message, not her. Don't get into the cult of personality for anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's me. Don't get into the cult of personality. It's deadly. You check into the cult of personality and you're checking out of reality. That'd make a good shirt, huh? If you check into the cult of personality, you check out of reality. That's the truth. All right, guys. I'll see you guys. I'm gonna have hopefully 2 more videos up. And a lot of people were asking me about my job. Last night was my last day. I clocked out for the last time at 12:01 this morning. So I'll give you more details on that. And like and share this video with everybody you know. And just remember, guys, this is not a cliche. Let this sink down. Just like mull this over and put it in your own words in your heart. The price of freedom. You want to be free. Free from interference. Just be your own person. The price to have that is eternal vigilance. In other words, you have to safeguard it. You have to protect it. You have to defend it. It's almost like you're taking an oath within yourself. I will protect and defend the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. I will protect and defend the right of everybody to have a personal protection device, whatever that may be, wherever they want to put it, however much they want to pay for it, it doesn't matter. I want to protect their right to do that because I want my right protected. It's me watching your 6 and you watching my 6 and us just looking out for each other. So the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to that notion is the means by which we will and have secured our own our own oppression. So I don't even know how to, like, I wish I could say, okay, times 10. Just that's something we got to do. We got to fight for freedom. When you get it, you got to keep it. If you lose it, you got to scrape back for it, because people are out there more than willing to put your freedoms on the line. That's why I like the First Amendment and Second Amendment and Fourth Amendment auditors, because they're out there not just fighting for their liberties. When somebody objects to, hey, no, I'm not going to give you something as simple as, no, I'm not going to give you my ID just because you say. Why? Well, it's the principle of the thing. I wouldn't do that to you. And it's not because I'm trying to virtue signal. It's just, it doesn't seem right. Who am I to ask you to identify yourself? So when they're protecting themselves and resisting themselves, it goes far beyond that. It's for every single one of us. So that if every single one of us resisted a ridiculous order, a ridiculous law of a politician, which is backed by the threat of force, we're standing up for the rights of every single person, not just in America, but on this planet. If every single one of us did that, and we had each other's 6, we had each other's back, man, this would be a totally different place, a way better place. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored Shadowban live stream.